passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuroff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Micheal Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Good afternoon and good evening to everybody out there, no matter where you are. This is the iGPFun League, the Super Formula Lights here at Fuji for round 6. This is going to be an exciting night of racing here tonight. We do have quite the field going on right now. As I look at my timing screen, it looks like we have I have about 39 people on track, so we're going to have action all the way up and down the field all night long. My name is Michael David. I'm going to be joined by Dean Biggles here in the booth tonight. He is running all of the stuff in the background, and we'll be chiming in from here and there. And we are excited to be here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this track. Track length of 4.48 kilometers. Our temperature today is going to be 26 degrees Celsius here in Japan. Let's see, we got 33 laps, 43.0 liters are suggested, and always we are looking at about 1.24 liters per lap. So fuel, obviously you can't refuel here in the Super Formula Light, so make sure you got to get your fuel right before the race starts. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the series standings. We're going to go over the top 10, and just so we know, we got Lee Aberdeen here in first place overall with 420 points. Luca Verani in second place with 379 points. Antonio Tellez in third place with 376 points. Fourth place we have Jacob Ozolski. He's sitting on 372 points. Brent Ruiz in fifth place on 356 points. Evan Way on 343 points in sixth place. Raheen Hakim in seventh place with 322 points, tied with Andy Flint. 312 points in P9. We have Mackenzie Roon, and our top 10 is rounded out by Tommy Mariu with 312 points as well, sitting in top 10. All right, let's go over these teams. The teams championship, Modern Racing Prince GP, currently sitting on top with 680 points. Delta Sport in P2 with 603 points. GPFun 67 sitting in P3 with 569 points. We have XBD Racing in fourth place with 541 points. Double XX Racing Team sitting in P5 with 535 points. Scuderia Racing Forces by iRace sitting in P6 with 522 points. Latvian Arrows in seventh place. We have the Hydro Race Racing Forces in P8. XBD Racing number 2 in P9, and Antarctica Racing in P10. That rounds out your top 10 there for your team's championships. So let's go ahead and bring our second commentator in here, Mr. Dean Biggles. How you doing tonight, Dean?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you very much. To be here in Japan, where there's almost more vending machines than there are people who's watching Lee, the currently championship leader. The Thunder from Down Under having a little bit of a spinneroo, but he has the quickest time at the moment by about 2/10 almost, as you can see over Mackenzie Roon.
Yeah, this is definitely a track that, like a lot of other Japanese tracks, has a lot of elevation change. A couple blind corners, a couple corners that are a little strange with the way the camber works, but great track. I absolutely love coming to Fuji. I love driving Fuji. It's very fun. Tonight we are going to see them using the chicane after the Dunlop curb, so that's going to throw a little spice into the end of the lap time coming into the third sector. So we're going to see it's a great place to overtake, and also a very easy place to lock up your front tires and kind of ruin your lap. So hopefully these guys here in qualifying right now, as you pointed out, Lee Aberdeen first overall over Mackenzie Roon. So we're going to see how this pans out. We still got a few more minutes left here in qualifying. Actually, we have just over 1 minute left here in qualifying, so we'll go ahead and get this field gridded up here momentarily as we see everybody coming around for their final laps, it looks like. But yeah, no, definitely exciting to be here. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've always wanted to see a square watermelon.
Oh, yes, exactly. I've been to Japan, actually. I didn't see a square watermelon when I was there.
A little bit easier for you, I assume. You're from Australia, so it's a shorter trip.
It's a 9-hour flight still.
Is there?
Yeah.
I mean,
everything's far away from Australia. Everything's a 9-hour flight generally. But, yeah, that's it. Should be wrapping up. They're finishing their last lap if they're on a fly. It doesn't look like anybody in particular. Maybe this driver here, Kenzie Newhoff, could be improving.
Yeah, currently sitting in 8th place. Looks like Kenzie did throw down a 132.1 last lap around. Not getting any sector times here, so we'll have to wait for them to come around. We see here coming down that big long straight. It's not exactly straight, but straight enough. Come down here into Dunlop Curve. And you see that rear end gets very, very, very unsettled here. Coming around. This third sector is very, very tough. It's always challenging. You got to be very careful because you're coming up over these blind hills. Ooh, that's going to be a lap time deleted. So even if Mackenzie was on a lap, yep, that was what you see here. Just going ahead and throwing it off into the barriers because that lap was done and dusted. But we see qualifying is coming down to be completed here. So Lee Aberdeen is going to be your pole sitter. We got Mackenzie Roon there in second place. Tony Jimenez is going to be in third place. We see, everybody else is just coming into the pits. Qualifying is officially over.
That means that the car's not going to get fixed in time. Oops. So he will not be able to start the race.
Is that how it's going to work?
No. It should. I think it should. Hey, it's a racing simulator. If you want to simulate it, then you simulate the fact that if you've been your car during the practice session, obviously, or the qualifying session, you won't have enough time to get that car fixed. But
I mean, you can talk to Checo and Yuki about that this weekend. Both of them bidding it in qualifying, but I
just finished watching the highlights to that.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting race in Formula One today. But we're not here to talk about Formula One. We're here to talk about iGPFun League, the Super Formula Lights. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, get it kicked off, so we can see. Do we have a car list?
We should have a grid in a second. Yes, just waiting for it to
cool.
Officially change the session and load up. Yes, it is. Here you go, my friend.
All right, awesome. Let's go through this grid. We got Lee Aberdeen in first place, Mackenzie Roon in second, Tony Jimenez in third, Nicholas Westman in fourth, Kevin Zwemstra in fifth place, Pedro Soares in sixth, Tommy Marie in seventh, Kenzie Newhoff in eighth, Will McIntyre Jones in ninth place. We got Christian Glamsetter in 10th place, Andy Flint in 11th, Robert Ridgway coming up in 12th place. Coming down in the 13th place, we got Dennis Cornu Denden. Evan Way in 14th place, Levi Martikkanen in 15th place, Kevin Byland in 16th place, Joseph Lucas in 17th, Marcus Putniaks in 18th. We got Theobald Rabillard in 19th place, Patrick Williams in 20th place, Koji Ito in 21st, Adam Tausma in 22nd, Don Lee in 23rd, Marcelo Kessler in 24th. Bringing us back round, and I do apologize if I'm getting these names incorrect. I don't mean to. Matthew Gracie in 25th, Eddie Amos in 26th, Nguyen in 27th, Jack Williams in 28th, Clark Williams in 29th, Oscar Artineno in 30th place. We got Darrow Govender in 31st, Ben Gaudier in 32nd, Ali Nasser in 33rd, Gaten Imhoff in 34th, Kostas Tenor-Braille in 35th, Noel Richie Robinson in 36th, Thomas Peter in 37th, Maximilian Gerhardt in 38th, and John McKenzie in 39th place. So that rounds out our field. Like I said, we got 39 cars on the grid. It's going to be action-packed all the way up, down, through the field. And we see our lights coming on, and we're getting ready to go for the Super Formula Lights here at Fuji. We got 4, we got 5, and we have lights out, and away we go here at Fuji. And it looks like everybody so far so clean. Everybody getting off the grid. We don't have anybody stalling out. Everything looks like it's all right. We have Lee Aberdeen coming down with Mackenzie just to the inside, but it looks like Lee Aberdeen is able to hold off and is going to carry us through down into turn 3s and 4.
Yep, good race start. That's exactly what you wanted, to be nice and clean, because remember, we got 32 laps, 33 laps to get it done, so you can win it and lose it all in the first lap. And Lee's got a good launch there for the Australian driver, got off there, and Mackenzie Roon, of course. Tony Jimenez, Wesman, and Zemesa running at your top 5 currently at the moment.
Yeah, that was definitely a great way to get through turn 1. Turn 1 can definitely be very challenging, especially on cold tires. You get that draft. We have so many cars on track, so it's nice to see them all get through turn 1 to turn 2, turn 3. Very clean. Ooh, as we say that, there we go. Dunlop curb into the chicane, and we see a couple cars getting together there. Gonna have to see who that was momentarily, but we definitely see one car there is quite slow, quite a lot of damage to the front end of that car. So we ride on with Kenzie and Lee Aberdeen up front here, still taking the lead away from Mackenzie Roon off that first place, off the start of the race, and we'll get a replay here. We got Andy Flitt coming very slowly. We'll have to see what happened with Andy here momentarily.
It's locked up in the back there.
Like
This is at the very start of the race, at the back, further back.
All right, we got Evan Way. See what happens with Evan, and Evan just kind of missed his braking spot and had to go off there. Nothing too crazy, but he did end up losing about 4 or 5 spots because of it. And that is Tommy Meru. And I'm going to have to see if we can get a different angle of that. Oh, there was another contact right behind there too. So we'll have to see what exactly happened. But up ahead, everything looks fine. Kenzie is coming in. We got Evan Way in the pits as well. And it looks like Andy Flitt is in the pits.
Oh, we have a...
So we got another car there. Matthew Gracie is out on that grass. We'll have to see if we can get an idea of what happened there. And I'm going to see. Oh, that was a huge incident there.
Yeah. I think Clark Williams was involved in that one as well. There's a few drivers who've gone on pit road now to get those repairs. That's a lock up 3 into 1. Isn't quite going to work, isn't it? And you're going to see just on the edge here. Oof, to the left.
Yeah. Yeah, that you never want to see that in the turn 1. We were happy to see it off the first lap. Everybody get through the clean there. But yeah, like you said, 3 into 1 just isn't going to work, especially in turn 1. There's a lot of, you lose a lot of elevation there. So your car is going to loosen up. It's going to get real light. You're not going to have the grip that you thought you would have. And then all of a sudden, you got no front nose. So we ride on board here with Kevin Byland. Kevin coming down the straight, sitting in 11th place. Got Cornu right in front of him. And we'll see just how strong that toe is in these Super Formula lights. This is going to be a big deal all night long, is getting that toe and keeping the inside line into turn 1. That is one of the best places to overtake here at Fuji. It looks like he's going to have that line. He's going to hit the braking zone, come into the apex, split out wide, and there it is, done and dusted. And that's also going to put Cornu under a little bit of pressure here from behind. That is Levi Martikanen. And then we jump back up front. Looks like Mackenzie has lost a spot to Westman there. And jump back to Martikanen. Martikanen all over the back of Cornu. Cornu was in 10th place, lost that position there. And it looks like they are just fighting their way out there as we see Nicholas Westman. This is the move for 2nd place here. And once again, coming down that straight, just using the draft as much as possible, coming down the straight, getting the job done before he ever hits that braking zone. Jump back here for the battle for 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Levy is starting to fall back a little bit coming through this 3rd sector, but we'll see what happens coming into the back straight and the front straight here.
Yeah, I wonder if at the moment Mackenzie Roon's going to line him up for an overtake again. Well, down this main straightaway, of course, as you said, probably maybe a little bit too far back. Let's have a look. Let's go on board. That would be a late. That would be a Max Verstappen dive.
No, that's done right there. The draft is just so strong here down that straight in these Super Formula lights. I think we're going to see these two battling it out for 2nd and 3rd place for quite some time now, as we see Dennis is able to get the job done there, up into 11th place. Oh, I'm sorry, Martikanen getting the job there, making the move on Dennis Cornu. So Levy up into 11th place as we see a battle back here in 17th place. I told you we're going to have battles all up and down the field tonight. So we see Tommy coming through. Tommy is trying to put the move on Putnieks. Marcis Putnieks. Sorry about that. Marcis Putnieks. And let's see here. Coming through. My live timing is all off, so I'm going to have to reload that. Apologies there. Getting all mixed up on where I am on the track.
Yeah. Well, these gladiators are still battling it out in this part of the track. Stirring it up in the Hornet's nest. Back in just outside the top 10 positions currently at the moment. While Lee still has a lead, quite comfortable lead actually, 1.5 seconds and change there. But of course, Tony Jimenez is going to be seen lining up Mr. Wesman. Try to steal that 3rd place. And Pedro Saurus at the moment as well too. So our Portuguese driver, he's in a little bit of a hornet's nest with Glamster and McIntyre Jones.
Yeah, if you are in the lead car of a drafts chain, you definitely have to be very, very, very scared of coming down that main straight, the start-finish line, because you're going to be under pressure all the way down into turn 1, and it's not easy. And it looks like right here, Pedro is able to keep that 7th place, but he's got 3, 4, 5 cars right behind him tucked in. We see him coming around here, turn 3 and into turn 4 and 5. This long, sweeping right-hander. Kind of just keep the throttle on, and then at the very end you gotta kind of trail brake lightly coming into the hairpin here. This is a very high-speed hairpin. Lead you on to the back straight, which isn't quite straight, but still straight enough. Turn 7, 8, and 9. A very, very, very high-speed sector. We have 300R in turn 9. Coming down into turn to Dunlop turn 10 into the hairpin right there, as we see Martikanen has lost position again. So Cornu and Lucas both overtook Levy here. So not sure exactly what happened. I'm not sure if he made a mistake or not, but that puts Williams right on his tail. So that is definitely going to be a stressful situation here for Levy. So we jump on board with Christian Glamsetter. Christian up into 6th place right now, trying to make that draft work for him. We've seen it for a bunch of other people. It looks like he is going to be catching. Not sure if he looks like he's already got the move done. So it's going to be a drag race down into turn 1.
Should be able to... No. Just slight lift off the descent. Just wasn't really confident to fully send it in there. Probably a good idea to hold off on that one for now.
Well, I believe it was Christian that was going on the outside that took the position. So, yeah, Zwemster. I apologize. I am just butchering names tonight. Zwemstra looked like he was trying to keep the inside line, but the draft just proving way too strong. We see here Joseph Lucas coming through here, coming into that braking zone.
Is
Newen?
Newen?
6 hairpin.
You pronounced that name correctly? It's Win.
Yep.
It's Win.
Win.
Yeah. Yes, we've got
Win.
Win, exactly. Win. Come on, win. Yeah, we got some confirmation out there, but thankfully, in how to pronounce that. The French driver's name?
Well, for everybody else whose names I am butchering, I do apologize. There was a little bit of last minute notice that I was doing this race today, so I apologize for that, but I am glad to be here nonetheless as we see this battle coming out of the final turn 16 at Panasonic, coming down the start-finish straight. This is the longest straight, obviously on this track, but it's huge. Mind-boggling just how long this straight really is when you drive down it. Just kind of feels like it just goes on and on and on forever as we see Will McIntyre Jones trying to make the move. Is he going to be able to make it stick down the inside into turn 1? Coming out, looks like he's going to have position, and yep, he's going to be able to make the move past Pedro Soares. Pedro is not letting off, but he's going to have to back out here coming into turn 3, and that is going to be job done and dusted there for Will McIntyre Jones.
I'm wondering at the moment too if some of these drivers are willing to yield a couple of places to conserve those tyres. For further on into the race to make it comfortable as possible. There's pit stops as well.
Super Formula lights definitely aren't, they're not too harsh on the tires, but yeah, you definitely have to conserve them quite a bit. We take a look here. We're getting a replay of Marcello Kessler going off track a little bit there.
Yeah.
Nothing too bad, it looks like. Win coming through in 21st place, so they did lose that spot to Artiniano.
Lap car's coming up already to our racing leader. That'll be the 34th place of Matthew Gracie. They went in down the pit road, so the drivers from 31st down to 38 have all gone a pit road. Unfortunately, our Japanese driver didn't start the race, and his home race, so it's very unfortunate. And that's Kinju, I think it is. So
Koji Ito?
Yeah. Koji Ito, that's it. Didn't quite get it. You pronounced the Japanese names quite well. Good on you. But Andy Flint as well, too. They both didn't start the race, unfortunately.
And trying to see here, looks like we have 4 cars still on pit lane. Oh no, they're all lapped down, I apologize. Clark Williams, Daryl Goverland, Kenzie Newhoff, and Andy Flint all multiple laps down. As we see Gaten Imhoff has lost a spot there to Win-Win. Win-Win holding on to 21st spot. Oh, I apologize there. Imhoff actually taking 23rd place, so that is a position gain for them. Kevin Zwimstra right along board, has not let Christian get too far away from him. This battle here has been continuing on for the last few laps.
Yeah, you want to stay within that slipstream in that draft.
Yeah,
so yeah, and then we'll see if he's going to be happy to follow him down the main straightaway coming up very, very soon. And that seems to be the hot zone, isn't it? Obviously down the end of turn 1, that's where you get your little fold-up chair and sit and watch the race. Grab a cold one or some sake or something like that, and sit and watch it, because that's overtaking places mainly there. I don't really see too many other places that anybody's been doing the overtaking.
Yeah, I was expecting to see a little bit more at Dunlop, but we haven't really seen too much of that. So, yeah, turn 1 seems to be the place for everyone. So, as we see here, we do have some lap traffic getting out of the way up here at turn 1, but Kevin not able to make inroads here. Still, I mean, quite close to the rear end of Christian, but not able to use the draft to their advantage here at the Fuji track.
Got a good exit there.
Yeah, that was a great exit. He's going to dive down the inside here, and it looks like he's going to have that move. So we're going to see a move made someplace other than turn 1. Very nice.
Exactly, 9 laps, so 25 laps to go. I'm wondering, I mean, it's too early yet for really having that much of a tire difference just yet. How kind you have been on the little 4 points of contact. They're very important 4 points of contact, of course. Doesn't matter how good you've tweaked your machine or how good of a driver you are, of course, you still have to rely on those 4 points of contact.
Yeah, that rubber is you gotta stretch it as long as you possibly can. You gotta keep it as clean as you possibly can. Getting off track at any point is gonna put a little bit of that dust, those marbles on there. So we see a replay here from Jack Williams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if it's turn 1, exactly. Oop, just went straight on there. So that's, to me, it is turning now. He's parked it.
Well,
yeah, might have had some sort of technical issues. Did have a crash earlier, I think, before that too on the previous lap. So might have had some damage and said, "All right, boys, take it back in the garage there and patch it up." They've called it, I think.
We see this battle here for 5th place between Christian and Kevin. Just absolutely neither of them giving in, but that's also bringing Will McIntyre Jones and Pedro Soares up into the battle here for 5th place. So these guys, between them battling it out, have just kind of lost a little bit of time to Pedro and to Will, who seem to be working together a little bit. We see Dennis Cornu back up into 11th place with Byland right in front of him, trying to chase him down.
Lee Aberdeen's gap at the moment is 1.7, so slowly, lap by lap, is just chipping a little bit away. He's they're in the 132s, the top 5 drivers, 6 drivers, 7 drivers, my apologies, are in the 132 club, and then the midfield, the Hornets' Nest, are around the 130s, early 130s. So
yeah, and there's not much split in between the top drivers there. As I take a look here, the last lap around, Lee Aberdeen was a 132.9. Mackenzie Roon was a 133 flat. Westman 132.9. Tony Jimenez 132.9. So they're all extremely quick and they're all within a couple of tenths of each other. But as I say that, Lee Aberdeen just threw down at 132.7, and Mackenzie Roon just threw down the fastest lap of the race at 132.6. So they are definitely finding some more and more pace up there, as we see all these drivers up front are extremely fast, and Mackenzie Roon was able to take about a 10th out of Lee Aberdeen that last lap. So we'll see if that is sustainable or if it was just an extremely fast lap.
We saw a switcheroo between these drivers again. As Christian Glamster gets past.
Christian Glamster and Kevin Zwemstra, just battling it out between the two of them. Looks like they did leave a little bit of space between them and Will McIntyre Jones, so that battle is still kind of just between the two of them for now. We jump back to Westman, Nicholas Westman and Tony Jimenez battling it out for the top 3 positions. For 4th and 3rd place, I should say. And this is allowing Mackenzie to kind of put a little bit of distance on them. We see Tony Jimenez about half a second off. It's all about the exit out of turn 16 here. Panasonic, this is where it really matters, is with a better exit than the car in front of you, you can really start to use that toe. And it looks like Tony does have quite a bit of draft. I'm just not sure he's going to have the distance to close in. He's getting closer and closer, but they're coming down. Here we go, the start-finish line right there, and I don't think he's going to be able, yep, he's going to have to back out of this one. Get up close, but just not close enough to make a move.
Huge amount of runoff area there.
Oh, yeah. You see here, Lee Aberdeen just kind of running away from it. Nothing too crazy, but kind of showing why Lee is first place overall. Definitely has the pace and definitely has the consistency up front there. So we see lap 12 of 33, so not quite a halfway point yet, but yeah, everybody seems to be running along for the most part quite cleanly, quite smoothly. Haven't had too many incidents. We see this battle between Zwemstra and Glamsetter. Zwemstra looking for the outside. This is going to turn into the inside. And there it is. Wow. It looks like Christian backed out of that one.
Yeah. I think they're having fun with these two, just exchanging Christmas cards early. But it will bring, by that battling, of course, will bring the Austrian driver right now into play. So you got to get it. That's the only problem, isn't it? When you're continuously battling with each other, it will cost you, scrub yourself a little bit of speed there. And I wonder now if Kevin's going to get the move on, or if Christian's going to see, look, we've got to get past you, my friend, because yes, look at that. We're bringing McIntyre Jones and Pedro into play. They can just see in their mirrors.
Pedro is just a little bit off from this battle, but Will McIntyre Jones right there, half a second behind. But as we see here, this is going to be Christian Glamsetter saying, hey, it's my turn to take over 5th place. You had it for half a lap. It's my half a lap to come back. There it is, done and dusted. And yeah, like you said, whenever these two cars are battling, that's not really slowing their overall pace down that much, but just enough to allow the cars behind them, as we see Kevin Byland making a move for 10th place. Kevin battling it out here with Dennis Cornu. Dennis is going to have to back up. Not enough, though, and
Contact,
that is going to... Yeah, that is not good. Kevin Byland getting the down. Worst end of that, yeah.
We don't need that tree there in the simulation, please. Thank you. Can't see anything.
Lumberjack Biggles. Kevin Byland needs to take a look here, yeah. Yeah, Dennis needed to back out a little bit more of that one. The position just wasn't there. But that being said, Kevin knew he was there. He did cut into the apex. Was that a racing incident? Could that have been avoided? We'll leave that one up for the stewards. But Kevin Byland definitely losing 5 positions here, and I would be very surprised if Kevin doesn't lose pace too, because that was a very, very hard hit to the rear right end of that Super Formula Light. Yep, getting on the curbing there, looking like the rear end is not too compliant, so we'll have to see maybe coming down the straight if he's still got the straight line speed that all the other cars have. But Marcius Putnieks definitely going to have an opportunity here coming down the straight, and it looks like not quite able to get as good of a run out of that turn 16 as he would have liked, so this is going to put him quite a ways back. The draft is very strong, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough unless the damage on Kevin Byland is as bad as it could be. We will find out here momentarily. I think it's just a little bit too far back.
You can see the current temperature at the moment. It's getting a little bit more into the evening. Yeah, no rain. I checked the weather forecast just before in the IRA, and so we're definitely splicing up. Another add some rain into this, but it will remain dry for the remainder of the race.
Whenever you come to one of these Japanese tracks, you always got to think about the rain situation. Always on the radar. Always just slightly out and about. especially up here in the mountains.
Oh, the snow too.
Oh, yeah, definitely snow. I don't think I've ever seen a Super
Patrick
Formula
Williams.
car driving in the snow though.
It's a simulation. Let's add snow.
I think we're looking for some rally racing there. If we can just head over to Sweden if you want.
Let's grab some chains and drag. Oh, we have a spin up.
Oh, Oscar Artinano. Artinano.
Artinano, yeah.
Artinano.
He's got the tilt there.
Yes,
There he is. I think he's dropped it. I don't think there'd be contact there. No, I think this is a solo.
just carrying a little bit too much speed. As Martin Brundle would say, ambition over adhesion, but just losing the rear end a little bit there. Unfortunately.
So we have Denden going in. Got to chop down that fence too so we could see.
Denden Cornu coming in for the pits. This is going to be their pit stop here, and you know it's kind of hard to see when he's going to stop. We don't get the luxury of seeing their little flag man, so
Yeah, exactly.
it's always interesting. It's like,
Yeah, come on, iRacing. I paid for this. I want it all, and I want it now.
I see Joseph Mark Lucas coming in for the battle of 10th place.
Got a McLaren livery as well too on that number 30 machine.
McLaren having a very good day.
That old school McLaren one that was Mika Häkkinen would have maybe looks like Mika Häkkinen's championship car.
Yeah. Definitely a beautiful throwback, that's for sure. You see coming through this third sector. This third sector is just so challenging. You got to be very careful because you think you have grip and then all of a sudden the track just kind of falls away. Then you come up over a hill and the grip just falls away again. Then you come into this, and this is the most important turn in the track. Turn 16 here. It's just so challenging to nail that sector, lap in and lap out. See, this is going to be a very close run here. I think Lucas is going to have the opportunity on this one. I think he's going to be just close enough. See if he's able to put that nose down the inside. Is Martikanen going to... No, he's not going to have to defend at all.
Dulu out there, so let's go Mackenzie. Oh, Mackenzie's now dropped to 2.3 behind Lee. Going to be crucial for these pit stops. Now, that's the one thing I've always said to these drivers, and any drivers really, is that you've got to practice those pit stops. And I'm not quite sure how many drivers really do practice those pit stops. Because a lot of the time, so the drivers have the ability, of course, of just, magically reappearing in the pit road.
Yeah.
And so, but I always say you've got to drive it back to the pit. You've got to drive back to pits and then try to get on your marker in your pit stops. Because, especially how close some of these drivers are, you're going to win and lose it in the pit lane.
Coming down and Dunlop. Joseph Mark Lucas was able to get that move done and dusted here coming through. It was after turn 1. Coming into turn 2, as we see Kevin Byland has made up a place and is trying to get back on track here.
Try to keep Jensen Button behind him here in the winning Braun car. The double diffuse is working quite well.
These cars are absolutely a blast to drive. They provide so much grip, and they're just so fun to drive. I absolutely love taking these cars out. I did do a race here at Fuji earlier in the week. Did not do so well, but I still had a good time. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, you took a real one out?
Oh,
you mean sim?
the sim.
I mean the iRacer. Okay, I thought you were talking about
the officials. Yeah, no, I'm not able to make it out to Fuji just on a whim.
Oh, that's right, because you said you haven't been to Japan. Yep, to get your square watermelon.
It is someplace. One of my best friends went to Japan a couple years ago, and he said it was amazing. I had a cousin that was stationed out there. Everybody I know that's ever been to Japan has just said that, just how great it was. You see this battle here. Patrick Williams coming in. Patrick Williams in 12th place. Rebillard in 13th place there, and it looks like we're gonna see a pit stop from quite a few drivers on this lap, but
yeah, there's a Jordan.
Just trying to see.
Eddie Jordan's team car right there, driven by Tommy Micheal. What's up, Maku?
Yeah. It was Kevin Byland I was looking for. I apologize for the delay there. Kevin Byland is in the pits, so looks like he's going to try a little bit of an undercut to get past this group here for 12th, 11th, and 10th place to try to see if he can put himself back into the swing of things for that top 10.
Now, this is interesting. I want him to get a 2-for-1 special here down the straightaway.
Well, last time we saw 3 cars into turn 1 and ended up being very, very dangerous.
Oh, Patrick's giving it a shot.
Ooh, this is going to be dicey.
Oh, he's backed off, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully for the racing, but I think that would have been a great move there. I would have loved to seen a little bit more entertaining 3-into-1, but smart move there by Patrick, using his brain.
Yeah, but that's so also throwing the dummy, isn't it? Yeah, you can. It's not bad to do that because you're applying pressure for the other drivers as well too. Because then they have to start mirror driving, because they're looking to battle each other as well as. You look eye always in the mirror to see what's Patrick doing behind, and then psychological warfare, psychological games at best. Bye is on the back of Levy's.
And is going to be under quite a bit of pressure. Yeah, Patrick has to back out again, but definitely has quite a bit of pace here on Levy. See if he's able to make a move this time around coming out of turn 16, because he is just right up on the back of him as we see coming through turn 14 here into 15. And then this, like I said earlier, is just such an important turn to get a run out. He's got a lot of pace there, but it looks like Levy was able to get on the throttle just that little bit beforehand. Patrick Williams is going to have a very strong draft, though. Not sure that Levy is going to be able to protect as much using the draft from Lucas. We'll have to see here in a moment.
It's almost like the cheat codes in Formula 1 with DRS.
Yeah,
I call it a cheat code because it's some of those DRS zones, are just too powerful. It's just driving past. But we all know that the new regulations that they are finally getting rid of the DRS. But DRS was only initially supposed to be planned. It was only been Formula 1 just for a couple of years to aid and abet overtaking, and then it ended up being like a decade plus or more.
Quite a long. Quite a long time there, but yeah, like you said, it was supposed to be temporary, and one thing led to another, and they just couldn't get the backwash off the rear of the cars. And that was a big incident moment there.
How's your back,
Christian able to Christian able to hold on to it, but that's gonna put him under a lot of pressure. But not that he hasn't been under a lot of pressure so far this race between him and Kevin Zwimser. The two of them have been absolutely duking it out all race long for that 5th position. Looks like Kevin is going to have quite the run this time around. Yeah, but that's going to be done and dusted before we even get down to the start-finish line.
Yeah, you want to get it done too quickly because he could be switched to that one as well, but he has got it done. Looks like Denden's been in the pit road for a very long time here, so I'm just wondering if that's any repairs. Oh, he's not leaving the car. Jump back in. Oh, he's quickly gone for an autograph run upstairs. You can see Dan's. He's gone
I
for
see him right there.
Bathroom break or something like that.
Hey. Lee Aberdeen just absolutely not having any stress at all so far. Mackenzie Roon 2.6 seconds back. Westman 2.2 seconds back from Mackenzie. And Tony Jimenez just half a second back off of that. So we'll see what happens here. We still have a tight battle here for 4th and 3rd, but at the moment, Lee Aberdeen leading Mackenzie Roon with a little bit of a comfort zone. Got Nicholas Westman and Tony Jimenez battling it out for that 3rd overall podium spot. Guinness.
Finnish driver's got some Irish advertising in his car.
You see here, following through. This is going to be very tight. I think Tony Jimenez is just too far back. Yeah, 7/10. That's going to be a little too far back for that draft to really help him out. He'll probably get a little... No, he's not even getting any benefit of the draft. He's just too far back for any of it. See at the top timing tower there on the top left, he's actually losing time. You see Will McIntyre Jones making a move on Christian Glamsetter. and that's going to be done and dusted. So Will McIntyre Jones sat back for quite a while, watched these two battle it out, chose his time to make a move, coming down into turn 1, gets it done, into turn 2, and into turn 3 here. And that is going to put him on the back of Kevin Zwemstra. So
Oh,
Will McIntyre Jones.
Somebody's gone around.
Yeah. Kevin Zwemstra went around. We'll have to see if we can get a replay of that. Ooh. Did he hit a curb? Everything's looking fine here. Comes out and...
Oh, that's unusual. Yeah. Ooh.
I think... yeah, I'm not sure. Do we have another angle of that?
Yeah, we'll go on board. Is it just lifted it up too much on the... Oh, yeah, that's a high speed. Bang.
The rear end was already starting to go around before you ever hit the apex. Then he hit that second curb on the outside, and that just went all the way around on him. So Kevin Zwemstra, unfortunate incident there. He's kind of just a passenger at that point, though.
Patrick Williams as well. Has he done the same? Oh, he's hit the inside chicane, spun around.
Yeah, that inside will get you too, especially these cars. They don't have a ton of ground clearance. They're not the friendliest over curbing. So yeah, you got to be careful here. And Will McIntyre Jones is now going to continue this battle here with Christian Glemstetter. So the battle for 6th and 5th has not stopped. We just have a different driver in the mix now.
I'm wondering at this point if you think about doing an undercut or something like that, isn't it? Or if you have pit stops, because they're just going to keep exchanging positions currently like they are, and might have to come down battering the pit road. But as those tyres are starting to wear off, I don't know, or drivers are just really pushing a little bit more out of the cars, but those are very dangerous corners, as you can see, both of those they just went through. High-speed corners like that, and those chicanes, dangerous.
Yeah, no, definitely quite a bit of danger going through those. Sorry, those curbings are not exactly the most friendly. And then this car relies so much on downforce and aero. Obviously, being Super Formula Light, you know, it's just as soon as you lose any of that aero underneath the car, it's going to unsettle it completely, and you're going to find yourself facing the wrong direction. You see Tony Jimenez is still battling it out here. Within 4/10 now, about half a second. We'll see what kind of exit he's going to be able to get, and that is not good for Nikolai Westman. That is definitely going to put him under quite a bit of pressure, and this time around, Tony Jimenez is going to get the job done quite easily because of that mistake coming out of turn 16. Nikolai Westman just getting way too far out, hitting the curbing, those turtles, just those turtle shells just not being friendly at all.
Yeah, I thought Tony should have probably maybe stayed behind there for a little bit longer, but that has got the overtake done. Just because once you break in that dirty air, you can see how much speed started to scrub off.
Yeah, this is true, but I think Tony might think he's got a little bit more pace through the twisty bits here. So we'll see. He has already gained about 3/10 coming through here. So see him coming through the hairpin at turn 6. See what Nicholas Westman is able to do. See Pedro Soares in 7th place now. He's brought this battle back into play. He is on the back of Christian Glamsetter. Glamsetter is trying to get that position back from Will McIntyre Jones, who was able to make the move on the last lap there. But Pedro Soares is saying, hey, I'm trying to make a move here. I've let you guys battle it out. It's my turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to see that they're going to join that party because, as you said, the drivers up the road there have been going for it tooth and nail since the first lap, almost. We've got 11 laps to go currently at the moment. You can see just 23 or 33, and I bet you they're going to switch around again, most likely. But what can Pedro do? Is it just enough slipstream here so that he can join that party and perhaps on the next lap get him? Let's see.
I think he's able to join the party, but Christian Glamsetter just able to use that draft to his advantage, and that kind of put Pedro back a little bit, but we see him closing in here on Will McIntyre Jones, and this is going to be a very interesting lap for these three, because now Pedro Soares is right on the rear end here, and he's going to be that much closer, so we'll see if maybe we are able to get another three-way battle coming down the straight.
Yeah, I'll stay with this for now because it's a good camera to give us an indication of the speed and sensation of speed around the track there, and how Pedro's gaining a little bit on these two that are battling it out. Patrick Williams has had a little bit of a moment again, unfortunately, there for the USA driver. And he's gone back in. He's gone to pit road, so he might have some damage. We'll go look at the replay in a little bit after these gladiators see if their attempt for an overtake down into turn 1.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting to see if Pedro Suarez is able to get on the back here of Will McIntyre Jones, because this is going to make things very interesting coming down the front straight. As we see, able to turn in a little bit earlier than everybody else. Loses a little bit of acceleration off the end of that, but that puts him in a very solid position here coming out of Panasonic, and he's only 3/10 back, so this is going to be very interesting. Will McIntyre Jones definitely has a strong draft coming off the back of Glamsetter, but Pedro Suarez is definitely going to be gaining down to 2/10. This is going to be very tight coming into the first turn, and I think we are going to have a battle, three-way battle here coming into turn 1. Will McIntyre Jones is able to get the job done, but we see him go, will they go 3 wide? No, they won't, but Pedro Suarez is able to stick his nose in there. It's going to be a drag race down into turn 3 here. We'll see if Pedro has to back out, but that is very, very close between the three of them. Christian Glamsetter able to hold on to 6th place, losing 5th place to Will McIntyre Jones.
That was it was very interesting. Did you see the front right lock up a little bit there too for Pedro going to that corner? That was
just enough
amazing
to slow him down, but he did have to back out a little bit. He wasn't able to hold it around the outside there. And Coca-Cola turn 3 there. Turn 3 is, we've already seen a couple incidents. It's a challenging turn. You know, if you get on the inside curbing, it's going to jump you off. If you get a little bit too loose on the rear end coming out of the exit, you can spin out and go onto the inside wall there. Not really a place that you can generally see somebody make a move, but as we see these 3 cars battling it out once again, as we get a replay, here's Patrick Williams' incident that sent him into the pits.
I wonder if this is
Coming
another
up over
hard.
the hill there.
Oh yeah, that's the sleeping policeman.
Yeah, those turtles, they'll get you every time, and that's the front wing of that car completely off. So Christian Glamsetter is going to be making another attempt here. Will McIntyre Jones. Pedro Suarez has backed off a little bit, not able to make a move on this lap, but Christian Glamsetter is going to be making the move, done and dusted here on Will McIntyre Jones. That is going to be P5 as we see this battle for the 5th position. Just, I mean, it's never really gone away throughout the entire race.
I wonder if it's, yeah, look at this now. It could be, could have Robert Ridgway joining this party very soon. He's just in a second and change down the road, but if they're continuing to battle up the road here, and yeah, that 1.3 now, just keep an eye on that, because he's starting to rapidly gain this back.
Last lap, Robert Ridgway was a 133 flat, about a 133.1. Pedro Suarez was a 133.6. So yeah, that's about half a second there that he gained just the last lap alone. So this is going to be very interesting coming into the last few laps here, as we have about, what, 7 to go this time around?
8 to go, so yes.
I gotta take my shoes off to count that high. I apologize.
I have a nice little stream deck that gives me of a plug-in that gives me all the information for the race. 7 to go now.
That's just cheating. Yeah, see, that's what I said. 7 to go this time around.
Yes, you are correct. I'm just reading what's on the screen, and it tells me the flags and all the others.
That's cheating, bud.
Oh,
so you don't even know your country flags. You have it written out for you.
Oh, no, the actual race flag, like if it's a green flag, you know, cautions.
Man, I think you've been found out, Biggles. I think you've been found out as we see this battle here. Pedro Suarez is still trying to put a nose down. Looks like he's going to have to back out here a little bit, but he thought about it. But yeah, definitely has to back out a little bit as Will McIntyre Jones and him battling it out. Christian Glamsetter looking in his rearview mirror saying, go ahead, boys, keep at it. Let me get away from you. Robert Ridgway taking another couple tenths out of Pedro Suarez there. So this is going to be very interesting here.
Here comes Robert.
We've got a 4-way battle for 5th place.
There's playing. Yep. He said, well, I'm on a bit of screen time. All right, a bit of screen time, because obviously his drivers are hogging all the airtime. Apparently at the moment, because you can see the gaps are pretty well spread out for the rest of the field there. Mackenzie Roon, unfortunately, hasn't been able to make those gains on Lee, who's looking solid for the Aussie to take the race win. And probably could even back off a little bit, you know. Could afford to just calm it down a little bit. But then again, they're race drivers, my friend. I don't know how many times you say, I just go a little bit slower. What do they end up doing? They're going faster and faster.
Yeah, especially towards the end of the race.
Risk
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
you're on lighter fuel levels. Car is just a little bit more pliant, but at the same time, your tires are starting to fall away from you as well. So we'll have to see here. But Robert Ridgway did lose a little bit of time there in the third sector. It looks like coming out of Dunlop, he lost a little bit of the rear end as we see Christian Glamsetter. Christian losing that spot there to Will McIntyre Jones. We've seen this happen once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. How many laps have we been on? 28 times? We've seen this almost on every single lap here. Whoever's in 5th place, it's going to come down to the very, very, very last lap here. So it's going to be very interesting. But I'd like to see Ridgway get up there, make this a 4-car battle once again. We see Pedro Soares coming through here. He is not too far away. He's only 3/10 back. 3.5 tenths. We come into the hairpin here of turn 6. Coming into 7, 8, 9. And I am surprised that we haven't seen any of these guys really make too many moves down here into Dunlop. As we see another incident here. Joseph Mark Lucas. See what happens here coming into turn 1.
Locked the rear.
Ooh, yeah, that is a good save, but he's losing position out of that one. But he's able to keep it out of the inside wall, keep it off of the racing line there. So Martikanen definitely glad for that one. That was battle for 10th place there. I'm sorry, battle for 9th place. We see Mackenzie Roon here. Like you said, yeah, not really quite able to track down Lee Aberdeen today. That is a matching time for lap to lap there, though. 132.559 for both Lee Aberdeen and Mackenzie Roon that last time around. Do want to point out Nicholas Westman has our fastest lap overall, 132.355, sitting in 4th place there.
Well, it's going to be careful here for Mackenzie Roon because Lee has got through. But those cars you see up the road there, they're battling. Oh, that's just a lift off at the moment there. So the drivers, they were battling, and this is obviously very, very scary. Of course, if you're a race driver lapping cars that you see at the moment, costing a little bit, getting a nice little drift here, and then bingo, it can get the job done. But it's always nail-biting sometimes getting past lap cars because if they make a mistake or anything like that.
Yeah, especially when they're battling it out, you never really know what exactly is going to happen, who really wants to lift and let that car go, because, I mean, Evan Way coming through 17th place here has a lot of speed coming down, win-win, getting out of the way, the French driver, like you said, and Evan Way making way into turn 1. That is for 16th place overall.
It could be a switcheroo later on as well.
Yeah,
We'll see.
This battle is not over.
Look at Eddie Avons's Tron car. Looks like that livery.
Yeah, yeah, it does. That's actually kind of cool looking. I like that. I like the colors, the black with the what you call that?
Oh, this league has fantastic liveries across the board. Like we get a quick second. I mean, we still a battle, of course, no doubt there for P5, but while we have a little bit of time, I'd just like to go through and have a look at the liveries, you know, because we haven't had a chance to really show all the cars off because a lot of lonely racing for some of these drivers this evening.
Yeah, for some of these drivers, for other these drivers, it's been non-stop all night long. Lap 30 of 33 coming through here as we take a look here at Costas. That's John McKenzie there. Ben Goyette. Oscar Artinano.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even clicked on some of these drivers at all with any airtime, so giving them a little bit of a chance to have a look, and that's practically the field that we've gone through at the moment. So while we're getting down to the dying stages of this race, with about 4 to go, Lee's should have the one that won the bag there, Mackenzie Roon and Tony Jimenez. So they're all starting in the top 4, believe it or not, starting in the same positions as well too.
Now, I
Started
got a
the
question.
race,
Did,
so
did
qualifying.
Tony Jimenez have an incident just a moment ago? Because Nicholas Westman has made up probably about three seconds on this last lap. We'll have to see when he comes back around what kind of lap time Tony Jimenez has, and maybe that was due to traffic. As I look at the feed here,
Yes,
it might have been due to
that's
traffic. Yeah, traffic related for sure. As we see lap 31 of 33, Lee Aberdeen does have a little bit of traffic up ahead, but I'm not sure that's going to be too much of an issue. As we see Patrick Williams once again having a little bit of an incident, and the rear end of that car just not wanting to face the right direction. Lee Aberdeen coming through here, and it's going to be close, but I don't know if Lee's going to have to worry too much about that lap traffic. Maybe on the final lap, but right now it's a little bit a ways away.
Yes, but
here.
more importantly, Robert Ridgway had been chipping away. You can see one of those cars completely got out of the way on that one off the side there. So
Ooh, there's another one. Was that Christian? That was
Yes.
Christian Glamsetter.
Yep.
Christian getting off there. So that is definitely going to put Christian back into 8th place, and his opportunity for 5th place is now over. So we get a replay here, and this is...
Oh, he spun.
Was that...
That was
there
that
a
was
little bit of a-
Christian. Yeah.
Was there a little bit of a tap there from Pedro?
That was
Or was that all by himself?
That's all by himself.
Yeah, all by himself.
I thought I didn't see the overtake. Well, the Tron car's magic has started to catch on the back there of Evan Way. This is Eddie Amos, the Welsh driver.
Or was that... I believe Amos was actually in front. I think Evan Way is making
Yes.
his way up another position there.
He has,
That's
actually. Let's
a
have a look.
move there. Yep, down the front straight here, coming down into the braking zone. Inside for Evan Way. Able to make that move, and that's how he got it done. Using that toe down the straight, and we're going to see Pedro Soares battling it out here, and that's Robert Ridgway taking the inside line.
Oh.
Will McIntyre Jones going way too far outside. That's going to move him
Wow.
down to the 7th place, losing 2 spots in the space of 1 corner. That is Robert Ridgway being the overall winner in that situation, taking 2 spots in the same corner.
Yeah, that's
Pedro
impressive.
Soares.
That's patience for you, isn't it? Remember, we have to go back three or so laps before that. He was behind all
About a
these.
second, yeah,
And then
about a second
just
and a
like
half.
that,
Yeah.
2 of the drivers have made a mistake. Christian made a mistake there. McIntyre Jones made a mistake. It was Pedro that hasn't made a mistake just yet, but touch wood. But obviously for him to not make a mistake, but just like that, isn't it? You can jump around a couple of positions. So.
Yeah, and if you're Pedro Soares, you have to stay on the back of Robert Ridgway right now. This is a very, very, very key sector coming into this 3rd sector here. If he's able to hold on to the rear end of Robert Ridgway, it's going to protect him a little bit from Will McIntyre Jones. But we know Will McIntyre Jones has been able to use that draft as advantage. We're going to take a look here, see what happens. Will McIntyre Jones 4/10 off there. Didn't quite get a great exit out, but this draft is going to kick in here, and Pedro Soares is going to be about the same, even a little bit closer here. So this
look
actually
where
is
they are on
going
the
to work
inside.
out. Yeah, this is going to work out very well for Pedro Soares. He's going to be able to make a move on the inside a little bit late, not far enough, but he's able to, at the very least, hold Will McIntyre Jones at bay for this lap. And this is our white flag lap.
Yes.
We have this lap and only this lap left to go as we see this battle for 5th place here. Lee Aberdeen currently coming through turn 8 and 9. That is our race leader, but we're going to stick with Pedro Soares here. Pedro is battling it out with Robert Ridgway and Will McIntyre Jones for 5th place here. As we see the 3 of them trying to...
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough, is it? They're not going to have enough time because our leader's
he's
going to
gonna be
cross
a
the
little
line
bit too far,
soon.
yeah.
And then where that overtaking. Well, you usually get the overtake done just after the start-finishing line, isn't it, into the corner, of course, and they won't have another time to do it because Lee's coming around the final couple of corners to secure another race win for the Aussie.
This is going to be the race win right here for Lee Aberdeen. Has been out front ever since the lights went out and hasn't really had to sweat too much. Lee Aberdeen going to take the checkered flag, 1st place with a 3-second lead. absolutely dominant drive up front there as we see Mackenzie Roon coming through in second place. And Tony Jimenez is going to come through in third place there. So that is your top three. Tony Jimenez looks like he took the fastest lap there on the last lap too, a 1:32.346. Nicholas Westman coming through in fourth place. This is the battle we've been waiting for. And it's going to be Robert Ridgway taking fifth place. Pedro Soares just 2.5 tenths down in sixth. Will McIntyre Jones in seventh. Christian Glamsetter having that incident just a few laps ago coming through in eighth place. Now we're going to see Levi Martikanen coming through in ninth place. Joseph Lucas just behind him. 10th place there. Thibaud Riballard.
Yeah, exactly. It's excuse me. Yeah, so consolation prize there for the Spaniard, getting that fastest lap towards the end. So they couldn't get stole the trifecta away from Lee, as Lee had the qualifying on pole, of course, and then the race win.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lee ever had one of the fastest laps. I think it was Mackenzie and then Nicholas Westman with Tony Jimenez taking it at the very end there. But absolutely didn't really need the fastest lap. He was able to just dominate out front. No worries. Lee Aberdeen just cruising the victory straight from the lights out, straight from qualifying. So absolutely stunning win for him. It's been a very, very, very solid race up front there, and that's just goes to show why he's leading the overall points.
And quite lucky we didn't have another, say, 30 laps, isn't it? Because I don't think we're going to have any light left. This track is, it is illuminated. You can see, but I don't think it's illuminated in iRacing.
Yeah, for these Super Formula lights not having any lights on the front of them, it's definitely going to be a challenge in low lighting conditions. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, with the sun going down over the mountain there is not really much more you'd be able to see as we get the final finishing results here. Lee Aberdeen coming through in first place, Mackenzie Roon in second place, Tony Jimenez in third, Nicholas Westman in fourth, Robert Ridgway coming through in fifth place with Pedro Soares, Will McIntyre Jones, Christian Glamsetter, Levi Martikanen, and Joseph Lucas rounding out your top 10. Thibaud Riballard in 11th place, Marcis Putniks in 12th, Adam Telsma in 13th place, Don Lee in 14th, Evan Way rounding out your top 15. And we got 16th place, Eddie Ramos, win-win in 17th, Tommy Mariu in 18th place, Costas Tenbrail in 19th, Ben Goyet in 20th place, John McKenzie in 21st, Oscar Artinano in 22nd, 23rd place we have Maximilian Gerhardt, Noel Richie Robinson in 24th, Ali Nassar in 25th. Got 26th place goes to Kevin Zwemstra, who was up in that battle for 5th place for a majority of the race. Thomas Peter in 27th, Matthew Gracie in 28th, Patrick Williams having an unfortunate race here in 29th place, Gaten Imhoff in 30th, Kevin Byerlund in 31st, Dennis Cornu in 32nd, Marcelo Kessler in 33rd, Jack Williams in 34th, Kenzie Newhoff in 35th. Got Clark Williams in 36th. And I believe that rounds out our starting field. We did have a couple others that didn't end up starting.
I can't display, I'm sorry.
Okay, I do know we didn't have Koji Ito start. Andy Flitt was out early, and Daryl Govender, I think, was the other car that we're missing there. So yeah, excellent race. Very calm, cool, and collected up front there, and we had a great race for 5th place there between probably 5 or 6 cars at different points in the race. So absolutely stunning job here by the IGP field, a large field today. And we'll see if we can get anybody to come join us in the booth.
Oh, they don't come for an interview in this league.
Oh, they don't come for the interviews in this league. Whoa.
No, that's fine. So I'll have to wrap it up.
Oh, well, I definitely had a great time coming in here. Definitely always enjoy watching the IGP League. It looks like an absolute blast. Super Formula Lights, great car, great track combination here. So this has been a fun race for me tonight. Mr. Biggles, any final words?
No, that's it. Stay tuned, of course, for next week at a big stack grid for
Spa, I believe. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep. check that. But
Yeah, so
thank you
next week
everybody
will be
for tuning in, and of course all the drivers. Enjoy watching the race back. For some of those drivers, unfortunately, it was a quiet one, but sometimes a quiet race is a good way to race because it's just a hurl of points, isn't it, for you? And of course, the squabbling that we did see with the drivers that got a lot of the camera time, and of course, turn one. That was the place to get it done. So that's it, my friend.
Yeah, well, with Dean Biggles, my name is Michael David, coming to you for JP Broadcasting tonight with the IGP Fun League and Fuji Round 6. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and all the drivers watching back. Y'all have a great race, great evening, and thank you very much for joining us.